Am I the asshole for telling the truth at my best friend's wedding during my toast? I'm a 30-year-old male and my best friend got married last week. I just bought a house and my wife is expecting our son in November, so I let him know I was limited in what I could contribute financially. But I did tell him I would try my best. So I went to the bachelor party in Miami, I rented the tux, and paid for mine and my wife's dinner at the rehearsal dinner. I also had a gift of $300 that I was going to give them, but we will get to why I didn't. His fiancée at the time would text me multiple times a day with updates. Fine. I didn't always respond, and it got to the point where if I didn't respond at least once a day, I'd get a call from my buddy. She texted me for the following reasons. 1. My wife was not allowed to talk about our pregnancy at all. She didn't want anyone to focus on that more than her, the bride. 2. She was not going to order any special food for my wife. No one asked her to. My wife was fine with whatever she was going to be served. 3. I was not helping the groom enough. He had to help her with favors, seating charts, and programs, so I had to help him with those things according to her. 4. She said if I was a true best man, I would offer to pay for the bar bill. I don't even know what that means. 5. She had to read and approve my speech before the rehearsal dinner and wanted to be included as much as my buddy. She told me to make things up if I had to. I was not allowed to include anyone but the two of them, and no inside jokes or stories about my buddy that didn't include her. 6. Her last text said to tell my wife to keep it together and not make a pregnancy scene during the wedding. Also, she wanted her to choose a dress that downplayed her pregnancy as much as possible. I was just so aggravated, I spoke to my buddy to see if he could reason with her. He told me to just play ball this one time, it's her day, and to cut him a break because he'd be dealing with her nonsense for the rest of his life. The day of, all the bride and my best friend do is scold me, berate me, and bark orders. I head down to the bar for the drink. The bride's mother is there and warns me not to get drunk because I ruined her daughter's day enough. That was the final straw. I didn't give them the card with the cash, and in the speech, I used my friend's exact wording about having to deal with her nonsense for the rest of his life. I wished him the best and told him I'd always be there for him, especially during the divorce. So, am I the asshole? Yeah, you are, but good job.
A few months ago, my boyfriend Blake and I went out to brunch with some of our friends. After a few mimosas, my close friend Jackie started talking about how she's been making a lot of extra money lately by making content on OnlyFans. A few of the other girls in the group started talking about it and asking Jackie about how much she's making off of it. Blake chimed in after a while and began asking Jackie a bunch of questions as well. He asked her what her content is like and how many videos she's made so far. At first, I didn't think anything of it because I was a little curious too. However, then he started to get a little too interested. He started recommending certain things she should do in her videos to sell more and get more people to watch and subscribe. This was the first red flag. He then asked her what name she came up with or what she goes by on OnlyFans, which to me sounded like he was trying to find her account to check it out later. I gave him a dirty look and he caught on quick and stopped talking about it. I felt a little uncomfortable and planned on talking to him about it later, but I ultimately decided to let it go because I thought I was being insecure. A few weeks later, we hung out with Jackie again when we went downtown with some friends. At one point in the night, Blake asked Jackie about her OnlyFans and how it was going. She smiled at him and told him that it's going great. I also noticed throughout the night he kept staring at her for long periods of time. After that night, I was suspicious and decided that I was going to do some detective work. Needless to say, I couldn't believe what I found. Part 2, I found out my boyfriend subscribed to my best friend's OnlyFans. When I got home, I went to Jackie's Instagram page and immediately noticed that Blake was following her, which he hadn't been before. This definitely got me thinking. I knew it was wrong and an invasion of privacy, but I couldn't help myself. I waited till Blake was asleep and I went through his phone. I came across a conversation with his coworker about Jackie's OnlyFans and my heart dropped. I went to his browser and opened the OnlyFans site, and not only did he have an account, but he was still logged in. I went to his profile and immediately saw that he was subscribed to Jackie's OnlyFans. Not only that, but he was sending her extra tips frequently as well. When I confronted him about it, I couldn't believe his response. He said it was just like watching adult videos and I shouldn't be mad at him for something like that. He continued stating that all guys do it and that he didn't see a problem with it. I was so mad I left for the night and called my friends, including Jackie, on a group call to tell him what happened. They all agreed with me on how weird and not okay it was and encouraged me to leave his ass. Jackie also said that she had no idea he was following her and that she was creeped out by it. However, when I asked some of my other friends, they thought it wasn't a big deal and agreed that all guys look at that kind of stuff. I decided that it was too much for me and I ended up breaking up with Blake. However, he's been messaging me non-stop to take him back and getting my other friends to agree with him. I know all guys look at stuff like that, but to me this was different. Did I overreact? Should I have given him a second chance?
So after pleading with my mother, she turns us down and my dad goes, "Okay, you're not the only person I know that does makeup." My dad calls in a friend. He's lived with this friend before, back in the 80s, before I was born, before he married my mom. This friend and him have a very interesting friendship. My dad used to act as bodyguard to ensure that he got to and from shows on weekends safely. Things I didn't know at the time. My dad used to be roommates with a drag queen. So my dad calls his friend and goes, "Hey, my daughter needs to learn how to do her makeup and my wife is refusing. I need your help." Not a problem. I hear my dad on the phone and he goes, "Can you be in full attire?" My dad says, like, now that I've asked him, he goes, "Oh, he went, absolutely, I'll be there in about an hour. Give me an hour, I'll be there." An hour later, there's a knock at our door and I go to answer it. There is this very tall person at my door, way taller than me, in heels, with a big wig, so much so that she has to bend to get into the house. Makeup on fleek. Like, holy shit, she's gorgeous. And she looks at me and goes, "Hi, honey. I'm your dad's friend. I understand you want to learn to do your makeup." My dad comes over and goes, "As beautiful as always. I knew you were the right person to call. Thank you so much for helping my daughter. This means so much to me." "Oh, honey, not a problem. You know I love you and I'll do anything to help your family out. This is no big deal." My mom is sitting there like, fuck. Like, now she will actually tell you, she didn't realize my father was gonna call the one person she knew that would do makeup better than anybody else. So, her name is Sparkle. That's what she goes by, Sparkle. Sparkle sits me down and goes, "Okay, what kind of aesthetic are you doing?" My dad, without hesitation, goes, "Goth." Sparkle's like, "Okay, let's do goth. Now, we want more than black. We're gonna do some reds, we're gonna do some grays. I'm gonna teach you how to do the rouge and maybe a little bit of highlight and shadow to accentuate those beautiful cheekbones." By the end of it, I looked gorgeous. Like, I was wearing makeup a lot after that. But yeah, that's how my dad helped me learn how to do my makeup, by calling an old friend that was a drag queen.
This is the story of the time it took me 4 hours to do my client's makeup because I got elevated before the appointment. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. It was sent to me on Instagram. Second disclaimer, I do not promote the use of any drugs or illegal activities. And I'm gonna need you to bear with me through this story time because obviously there are some words I cannot say on TikTok. I used to work at Sephora, and if you didn't know this, you can actually call the store and set up an appointment to have your makeup done. For me, this was a part-time job and I didn't work every single day. And if I didn't have an appointment to do in the store, I was just one of the people that walked around and tried to sell you makeup. But on this particular day, I woke up, thought it was Tuesday, which is my day off. So I had called my friends and asked if they wanted to maybe roll something up and pass it around a couple times. A few of my friends were free, so that's what we decided to do. And after the first one of my other friends was like, "Hey, I also have these really cool snacks if you're hungry." Since it was my day off and I didn't have any plans for the rest of the day, I was like, sure, I'll take a snack. Let me be clear, I was still elevated from the whole puff puff pass situation, but it was going to take a while for these snacks to kick in. We were just chilling on the couch. We had already called the pizza guy to come deliver us some pizza. And when I looked down at my phone, my manager was calling me. I thought they were probably shorthanded and she was calling me to ask if I could come in. So I just let the phone ring and it went to voicemail. A couple of minutes later, I get a text from my manager telling me that I have an appointment in 10 minutes and if I'm not up at the store, she's going to be very unhappy with me. I checked my calendar and she was absolutely right. It wasn't Tuesday, it was Wednesday, which means I did work and I did have an appointment. The only problem was, well, you know. I rushed up to the store as fast as I possibly could and my manager is already standing by the door waiting for me. Apparently, she didn't notice that anything was going on with me, so I just started doing the girl's makeup. And about halfway through, those snacks came back to bite me in the butt. I just kept doing her makeup and I was trying to do the best that I absolutely could. And most of all, I did not want anyone to notice that anything was going on with me at all. When I finished the girl's makeup and walked her over to the mirror for her to have a look, that's when I saw my face. My eyes were so red, they literally looked like they were going to fall out of my head. And then I checked my watch. I had been doing this girl's makeup for 4 hours. And just when I thought I had gotten away with it, my manager walked up and told me the reason this appointment was so important was because that woman was actually her mom. I don't even know if I need to say this part or not, but yes, obviously I got fired.
I met a guy that I really like. His name is Austin. We've been dating for about 7 months now. We really hit it off and things were going great. We decided to move in together because it made sense financially and we believed that we'd love living together. At first, we did. However, I now know why people say you never truly know someone until you live together. There's a few things that he does that drive me crazy. First of all, he hates to clean. I know the same can be said for a lot of guys, but Austin takes it to the next level. I've gone on him several times about doing the dishes. Instead of washing them, he'll try to be sneaky and throw away the dirty dishes altogether so he doesn't have to clean them or hear me complain. He claims it was an accident, but I found my mugs in place in the trash multiple times. He threw away my favorite mug that I got from Disneyland because it had caked on cereal on it and it would be hard to clean. To me, that's just next level lazy and makes no sense. The next thing I caught him doing that blew my mind and disgusted me at the same time is when he plays video games in the living room and instead of going to the bathroom, he'll just pee in an empty bottle and then screw the cap on and leave it there. He's never done this in front of me, but I'll find bottles full of urine sitting on the counter by the couch because he can't even dispose of them on his own later. The bathroom is literally just a few steps away, but I find bottles full of pee all the time. Not only is it gross, but it's highly unsanitary. However, this isn't even the worst of it. Part 2. I can't stand my boyfriend after moving in together. Throwing away my dishes and peeing in bottles is pretty lazy and gross, but not as bad as the next problem, and it's a big one. In the bathroom, after he goes number 2, sometimes he'll throw his used toilet paper in the trash can instead of flushing it, causing the bathroom to reek. He'll also throw used wet wipes in the trash can as well for the ultimate sewer smell. It grosses me out so much and I can't believe he does this. Sometimes when I'm working overtime and haven't gotten a chance to clean as much as I'd like, he'll just keep adding onto it until it topples over and falls on the ground. Oh, and he leaves the toilet seat up each and every time. He also can't cook, throws his things around everywhere and won't pick up after himself, and rarely takes out the trash. I've tried to talk to him multiple times about these issues, but he seems to just brush it off and it keeps happening. He acts like I'm being a pest or I'm the annoying one when I bring up these issues. We have 3 more months on our lease together, but I'm already looking for a way out. I'm not sure if we should live separately and continue dating or if I should just end it. When we weren't living together, I was so happy and even thought for a second that he could be the one. I really like him, but I don't think I could ever live with him again after this. Do all men live like this? Am I being over dramatic? What should I do?